All right, let's talk about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Listen, it was not a win, but you know what? If you're a Panthers fan, I think that, winning is fun. You care more about the development of Bryce Young. And listen, it's a Joe Barry Packers defense, all right? It's not exactly something that you're concerned about going up against, but still, the Panthers have had, moments where they've played not great defenses and haven't looked great in the past. So seeing them look great, I don't care if you're playing a college defense, it's still exciting. Let's talk about what Bryce Young was able to do in this game, starting off with a negative, just because I want to be mean, I guess, because, it wasn't perfect, right? There still were some growing pains, something like this. It's a man coverage, 3rd down and 10 situation. You see Young takes the snap. He's going to look towards the outside. There's a small window. There's a window. You hope to see if you can get a completion here. This one didn't quite work out, a bit too high on that one. Couple of those did happen, right? So, gotta talk about the negatives. These things did happen. It's not like they were scoring on every drive. They did get down in the first place. That's part of how they were able to get down in the first place. It wasn't totally clean. But as the game went on, they started just playing very clean and very good football. Like a play like this, for example, it's a 3rd down and 5 situation. And this is what we thought we were going to see from Bryce Young constantly this season. Of zone coverage, you have Adam Thielen, who's going to be running a route over the middle. Hopefully it can get into a gap in coverage. A lot of times you will do a play action on these types of plays to try to get players out of position. But, 3rd down and 5, odds of a running play are slim. They don't really feel like it's worth it here. They're just going to, don't slow down Young, just run the play straight up. As you see, Young is going to take the snap. He looks over and, okay, so there is a window, but not a huge one. You see that Thielen is getting ready to cut over the middle, but, defensive back who's covering him is kind of on him here, and you're going to have to time this one very well. There will be a window over the middle, but if you wait too long or throw it too early, a defensive player can come in and knock it away or even intercept it. This is not an easy play for Young to make, but watch the perfectly timed throw, perfectly accurate throw. This stuff he did in college, and this was we all thought he was going to be very NFL ready, and maybe hasn't worked out. This is the kind of stuff that we thought we'd be seeing right away, and I have made Tua comparisons. Tua was another guy who people thought would be great right away, and then it actually struggled his rookie year. But a big, I think, issue of Tua was, listen, he's a game manager, but when he doesn't really have a great game to manage, well, then what else can he do? There has been some of that with Young, and now that you see him in a situation where, hey, guys are getting open, and he's hitting them and timing these plays well and all of that stuff, well, that makes you say, well, if we can, if he can do it in this situation, let's just get more talent around him, get him in a constant good situation, and maybe he can start playing well. Also, a play like this, to me, this is a great example of the game in general, because, okay, listen, people are going to say it's Joe Barry, it's the Packers, and that has to be mentioned, right? We just saw, just last week, Baker Mayfield had a perfect passer rating against them, kind of, for years now. It's just, there's been some struggles, and a play like this is a good example of, corner, you see the route on the screen, but the corner who's covering him playing very far off here. It's a 3rd down and 12, but you don't want to just give up the 1st down, right? You have to make sure that you can get a stop, not to mention, the field goal situation, giving up 5 yards is still not ideal because that makes for an easier 1st down situation. You'll take it, but ideally you'd like to give up no yards on this play. Well, watch how when this play begins, you see, there's a window. The Packers defender is not coming in trying to make a play, but there's the flip side, which is if you are Carolina, you have to notice this. And for Bryce Young, the fact that he reads this, saw the situation, saw Green Bay's mistake, and is attacking it is exactly what you want out of a veteran quarterback, let alone a rookie one. Watch Bryce Young put this one right on the money, really well accurate. Again, well timed, gets it over there. That's the kind of stuff you want to see. So, yes, there are mistakes, but listen, we've seen teams, not go off against this Packers defense, right? You have to be able to make the right play, and that's what we saw Young do. Something like this is a perfect example of making the right play where, 3rd down and 2, it's an interesting situation. So let's just set the stage. It's zone coverage that the Packers are in, and for Carolina, you have a receiver kind of running underneath and one running further deep. Hopefully, only the corner is over there right away, and you kind of, if the corner goes underneath, you throw deep. If the corner stays deep, you throw underneath. That's typically how this play can work. Again, worth mentioning the situation. My graphic has kind of blocked it off, but it's a 3rd down and 2 situation here for Carolina, and also game-wise, very important play. 5 minutes left, down 8 points. Watch as when Young takes the snap, he is going to look down the field, and right here, to be honest, he kind of can choose either one. I don't know if either one is a terrible choice on this play. Young certainly could throw underneath or further deep, so now he has to make the correct decision. And I think naturally you want to throw it more underneath just because that feels safer, but it actually isn't always the higher percentage play. Sometimes throwing it further down the field is actually a higher percentage play. It is worth mentioning there is a player wide open towards the bottom of the screen, kind of, right on that 3rd down and 2 thing that it says on the field. But I don't hold it against Young that he didn't notice this because he's reading the play how he's supposed to read the play. He sees a potential opening. You can't see the whole field at once. Yes, that happens. Sometimes people online will post screenshots and say, oh, what an idiot. No, that's not where his read is. He shouldn't be looking off here. I don't want him to be looking off. If you see this situation, throw towards that situation. And watch Young push the ball further down the field, makes an accurate throw, tough catch, but held on to by DJ Chark. Really good stuff by Carolina to be able to pick up not just a 1st down, but get a chunk play as well. Because again, the goal isn't to avoid a 4th down. I mean, it kind of is, but the goal really is to score a touchdown, right? And yes, avoiding the 4th down helps you do that, but avoiding the 4th down and getting a chunk play is just that much better, and that's what they were able to do on that play. And also what was the touchdown that allowed them to go for 2 where they converted. This was maybe his best play of the game. And again, something we saw him do a lot at Alabama of it's man coverage. That's what the Packers are in right now. So, okay, one-on-one matchups across the board. And, we have seen Carolina struggle at this, right? We haven't seen a ton of guys be able to win their one-on-one matchups consistently. Well, watch how when Young takes the snap, he is going to find a way to scramble outside the pocket. And that's key because then when he throws, there is a window, right? You give that little extra time. Well, now it makes it so much tougher for defenders to cover. People usually talk about this in terms of offensive line and how well they can block. And if they can block for a while, well, then it makes it harder for defenders to cover and you get yards that way. But this is, to me, actually the bigger way that happens. If you can find a way to get outside the pocket, then it's so difficult for a defender to try and cover. But of course, the flip side is when out if you're Bryce Young, you have to make a throw off balance. However, Young does make a throw off balance. They pick up the touchdown there. They did go for 2 and make it. And then they obviously lost on a last-second field goal. The Packers had a little bit of time. They were able to march down the field and win the game. So, give credit to Green Bay. But like I said, your hope, if you're a Panthers fan, is to see Bryce Young develop. And there's no doubt about it, this was Bryce Young's best game as a pro. So you feel pretty good about that if you're a Panthers fan. Again, blame Joe Barry all you want. Blame the Packers defense all you want. At the end of the day, all I do is watch the plays and look at the plays and evaluate what happened on film. And what was on film was a very good performance from Bryce Young. So that's kind of, that's how I feel about all of that. But what do you think? Do you agree this was a good performance or was it a bad defense? Who cares? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.